All right. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, David. Good morning, game room. Evening. So I do want to give people a few minutes to get on before I jump into the announcement that I've been uh, bragging about, enticing everyone with. I hope it's as exciting for me as it is for you guys. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming soon. Just in the next few minutes. I just want to make sure everybody gets on here first. But let's go ahead and do our prayer for the session, and we'll go from there. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity for us all to get together, and thank you for exciting news and all the community and all the feedback and just the great sense of community that we have here in the LaunchBox community. Um, Give me strength, give me passion, give me motivation, give me um, your wisdom, and everything else I need in this session to be productive. Uh, Help us all to work together lovingly. Help me shut my mouth. I need to shut my mouth, Lord. In your name we pray. Amen. Okay. Hola. Good morning, K Money. Smidgy. Let's see where we at. Holy crap. We have 1,000. No, never mind. Never mind. Stupid thing. That's not true. So I flipped out for a second because I'm an idiot. Twitch, there it is. All right. Well, we'll give it just a few minutes yet because we've only got 11 people out of our typical like 25. Hey, Prince of Cats, welcome. Sid, welcome. Um, I don't want to wait too long here because it's kind of exciting, but we'll give it a few. Seems like the Twitch viewer count is always way behind. But in the meantime, I'll go through what I do want to work on today. That's really right in front of you on the screen here. I've got some bugs to fix regarding the images. When editing the games, the images aren't refreshed. I think there's some other cases where they're not refreshed. Um, and then I want to add the ability in LaunchBox to basically select a group of images and refresh just those images. Um, and then I've noticed that, and Brad noticed too, that imports, for whatever reason, imports and metadata updates are missing some EMU Movies media. Um, and they show up when you do it manually, but they're not showing up on the import, so I need to look into that. This games database needs ROM release subtable on games with checksums. That definitely needs to be done, but I'm not going to be doing that today. Same thing with reduce get size. Another thing we do want to do is add edit image types are cut off. Okay. So we will probably be doing those four things this morning, and then there we go. Now we got 22 people. Let's see. Doughboy says, before we started, I have a question about getting ScumVM to load games. The games show up, but the games won't launch from LaunchBox. Well, ScumVM should be pretty straightforward, Doughboy. I'm not sure why they're not launching. I think the forums might be a better place to troubleshoot that, though. Hey, Blue Arrow, Isolac, Bibi1, welcome. Ancient Squirrel. Just finished watching Monday session. Yeah, they're long, aren't they? Aren't they, Ancient Squirrel? Doughboy, I can get the application to launch from LaunchBox, but the games won't launch. You get the application to launch, but the games won't launch. I assume you're checking the use ScumVM stuff the use ScumVM checkbox in the LaunchBox game settings, Doughboy. Other than that, probably need to troubleshoot that on the forums. DJ Quad, welcome. Aliessa, welcome. Yeah. So let's do this. The big surprise is Let me introduce this a little. So, in the last maybe the last 4 or 5 months, 6 months, we've gotten a lot of complaints about the LaunchBox forums because they suck. Basically, they're way slow. They take forever to load all the pages. They're running on WordPress right now in using a plugin called Simple Forums. And that was a great plugin to use when we started because it provided a lot of functionality really easily and cheaply. It didn't cost much money. I mean, it was a great solution. But now we're scaling much bigger, and we're running into performance issues because it's on PHP under IIS, and it's also on top of WordPress and all that stuff. So there's all this stuff counting against performance with it, um, and I can't tweak what I want to tweak to make it really what we need. So that is the big surprise for today. Is I've been working on a new solution for our forums. So this is what I've started. What I've started on. I haven't built this from scratch. I used a particular third-party forum solution. I don't really feel the need to advertise that for them, so I won't let everybody know what that is. But I have the source code for it, legally, of course. I paid it for it. It wasn't cheap, but basically we have a good a forum solution going forward that I can tweak to do whatever we want to do. Starting off here, this is a work in progress. I expect to finish this uh, later this week. I hopefully on Friday I'm going to finish this up and actually get this live so we can use it. You notice I already have all our stuff in here, but there's plenty of issues that I'm still working on fixing. So yeah, the old forums were really kind of crappy. So I'm really excited to get the new stuff out here. There's some nice new features. But when we first start, it's going to be much simpler until I start adding in some additional features. But all the important stuff will be there, and all the previous content will be there, and everything else. So I'm really excited to get this out. This has been actually on my plate for a very long time, but it's kind of been the redheaded stepchild um, of what I'm working on because I haven't had time to work on it, and I had to evaluate a whole bunch of different products, forums products, and everything for it. Um, and I ended up throwing away my progress 3 times to find something that really worked well. The other thing you'll notice about this is it's super quick. Boom, boom. Uh, and that was a huge priority for me because I'm sick and tired. Basically, the majority of our website traffic, or at least it used to, I think it's still extremely significant. On our website, the most of the traffic comes from the forums, from SEO, Google searches. So the forums are incredibly important to our growth and to getting people to discover LaunchBox. So, and it's you guys producing this content that has really helped us to grow from the very beginning. So forums are extremely important, and so I'm glad to be addressing this finally. So I plan to put this out later this week. Um, it will be a little bit of a migration process. I think all your usernames and users will still be there when we're done, but you'll have to reset your passwords. So I'll make all that stuff clear when that happens. Basically, what you're gonna do is if I sign out here, I'm still working on this, obviously, but when you first go to the new forums, you're gonna have to hit lost password and type in your email, and it will send you a new password because I can't migrate over the passwords because I don't know what your passwords are because I don't want to know what your passwords are. So and the system won't let me retrieve your passwords for security reasons. So for that reason, you're going to have to set your own password using the forgot password. So that is one thing that people are going to have to do. Not a big deal. Um, Other than that, everything should, for the most part, transfer over. You're probably going to have to set your own image for your user, your whatever that's called, stuff like that, minor stuff like that. But for the most part, everything's going to be here. some of the stuff I still got to do. I still got to fix some of the styles, and then I still need to go in and um, uh, the content. I have a script that migrates all the content over from the old database, the old forums, to the new forums, and I have some work to do in that department to clean up the content. Because right now, if we go into, for example, just random thread, I don't know. You'll notice we've got HTML listed down here in Brad's um, thing, and that's one thing I'm gonna have to figure out. The new forums uses the BB code stuff. If you've ever used the BB forums, so we have to transfer that over somehow, and then quoting is messed up as well. If I can find an example of that. Oh, and of course mentions. I don't have anything in there for mentions to link the things or notify people or anything like that. So there's some work to do there. But all the important stuff is going to be here already. Groups are another thing that I'm probably going to have to add later. All your progress will be kept in that stuff because it still knows how many times you posted and all those kinds of things. Yeah. Uh, Thank you guys. Thank you very much. I'm glad you guys are appreciating this as much as I am. I'm excited about it because I'm tired of having crappy forums. So that's the announcement. I mean, and I do have development to do on this. So I'm thinking I could work on this a little, but my hesitation with working on this in the live development session is I can't show this code because I did purchase it. I purchased the source code. So for that reason, I can show you styles as I'm working on the styles, but I probably shouldn't show you the code, unfortunately, because the original code I did purchase, so and it's not freely available. So that's that. But let me know, guys. You want me to work on the forums? Or you want me to get back in LaunchBox and Big Box development today? If I do work on the forums here in the live stream, it's going to be basically styles. I'm going to be going through and styling in CSS to fix the various styling issues. So I never know what's going to be boring and what's going to be more interesting. So it's either that, and I'll probably get back into LaunchBox and Big Box development eventually, anyways. But it's either we work on that or we start tackling these four things. Um, Another thing I'm missing here is Big Box needs the ability to switch to switch the uh, image group, and I'll show you what I mean by that here soon. Cool. 3 votes for LaunchBox Big Box. That's what we're going to work on. Cool. Yep, K Money, I agree. I totally agree. But I wanted to at least bring that up just in case. So there's the forums. We'll shut that down for now, and we'll get back to LaunchBox and Big Box. So first thing, let's do something rather than go straight into a bug. Let's do something more interesting here first. So we need to be able to refresh images for selected games. Right now, for example, my LaunchBox is actually a work in progress right now because I'm um, sort of separating out. I'm working on separating out my uh, uh, Play LaunchBox Big Box installation, my actual installation that I use in my arcade cabinet and all my machines, from my development instance. And my development instance has got everything right now. So I'm kind of bare right now because this is my production one. I should probably just load up my development one. But anyways, if we what I want to add, because right now you can of course go to Tools, refresh all images, but that refreshes everything, and that's exceedingly annoying at times because you're in a situation where you only want to refresh a certain number of images, and you end up refreshing all of them. So what I want to do is be able to do that, and then right click and say refresh selected images, or go to Tools, refresh selected images. So that's what we're going to do here first. So I will load up. Let's close out of all this stuff. Go into LaunchBox Forms. We're going to go into the main form, which is the main window of the entire application. I've got a smoothie for breakfast here. It's kind of disgusting, I know, but it's delicious. All right. And then basically in my, or back to visual editing here. In my tools, do I want to put it in game? I guess tools. Um, yeah, Ali, I just recently, well, I mean, I've been getting that feedback from a number of people, um, but I've just recently replicated it, so it's something we're going to definitely look at. I'll definitely look at today, hopefully in this live stream. So, anyways, I'm just gonna edit the items in this list here. Edit drop down items, and we're gonna add a new menu item for refresh. Refresh selected. Oops. Refresh selected images, and the name goes up here. Now, what's a free letter that I can use for the underline there? I, E, M, P. R is being used. E is being used. F. Is there an F? This is always annoying to do. So it looks like F is free. So I can put the ampersand in there like that so that F is a shortcut key. Now the image, I don't know what image I'm going to use for this. Yeah, that's going to be tough. I don't want to use the same image twice in a row. I have to look. Let's pull up. I have this Fugue icon pack, which is what I've been using for pretty much all the little toolbar and images and stuff in LaunchBox and BigBox. I even mentioned it in About, I think. What was it called though? Let's refresh. Sync maybe. Flip. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see if we can just see it. Okay, this arrow circle stuff. Is that what I'm using? Yeah. So we have double, and then we have a single. Well, that's perfect. That's what we can do. We'll use the double for refresh all, and the um, refresh all. Not sure if I have a. Let's take a look at my image library here. under R. So I have refresh in there. Now we'll just drag refresh all. Bingo. Perfect. And then refresh all, we're going to change to be refresh all, and refresh selected will be refresh. Perfect. That works. Okay, and then we need to do the same thing in the context menu, because we want to be able to do it on right click as well. Probably be easier to do it in here. Thanks, Isolac. Try image. You probably back when I was searching. DJ Quad. I get it. Yeah. Okay, I called it refresh selected images. Can I use F here as well? MOIVS. F is used. That figures. EDYA. R is being used. E is being used. S. PCTUMOIVS. H. PCTUMOIVSFED. H is free. So few people use these keyboard shortcuts that it almost feels like a waste of time doing this, but I don't like to build stuff that isn't quality. Hi Eva, Daddy's streaming. I know, but I can't put that on for you right now, Eva. I'm sorry, Eva. I'm streaming. Please help me, please. That's what she says. That makes me feel sad. I'm sorry, Eva. You have to get mommy's help. Image. You can't do it? Okay, and this is gonna go maybe... Hi Jason, since the latest beta or latest updates for LaunchBox, the clear logos don't show as a background image anymore. There's nothing in the options anymore to show them. Is this a bug or have you took this out? They should show up if you select them in the background settings. I can show you that in a setting, Cranhill. Yeah, background image priority, exactly. Cranhill, it's not in LaunchBox. You may be. What do you mean by that? Keyboard shortcuts in LaunchBox are awesome. I'm glad you spent the time putting them in for us. Thank you, DOS76. That's good to hear. And it's not all wasted after all. Now, all these have keyboard shortcuts, even more so. So, give me a second, guys. My daughter is still at the door. Eva, I'm trying to stream. I'm trying to stream, girl. I'm talking in a live stream. Sorry, guys. I was tired of my heart getting broken listening to my daughter whining at the door. All right. Where are we at? Yeah. Yep. That makes sense. DOS helps for automation and stuff and professionalism. I'm using LaunchBox, not BigBox, so maybe the option was removed from there. No, this is in LaunchBox. Yeah, absolutely. I'm out of breath because I had to run down the stairs. Yeah, I love my kids. It's funny. I don't love anybody else's kids. I'm a terrible person. I have trouble. I have trouble loving other people's kids, but I love my own kids. It's not in. Yeah, that's where it's at. Uh, Cran Hill. It's in options, images, background priority, like David says. Okay. So we have refresh selected images added to the context menu. I think we're going to want to make this disabled by default. Same thing with, we wanted to look up a shortcut. I wonder if Control Alt R is being used anywhere. That's even more of a pain because I got to look everywhere. Yep, it's right there. Poo. All right. Maybe F5? I wonder if we've used F5. That would make sense. I don't think I have. F5 is typically refresh. That'll do. So under Tools, Refresh Selected Images, I'm going to set the keyboard shortcut on that. To F5. And then also in the context menu, shortcut keys. I wonder, I think I just type F5. Cool. Um, Doughboy, maybe I can load that up quick and take a look at what it should do. But it should be straightforward, so I'm not sure what the issue might be. All right, so we've got our two things there. Let's we need to put in the code for it, and then also disable it or enable it. That's what I wanted to do. Refresh selected images needs to be disabled by default until there's actually a game selected. And I'm trying to remember how all that works. Let's handle that first. Just search for .enabled equals false. The current document. Set no selected game state. Well, that's nice and simple. All we got to do is say this dot what did I call it? Refresh selected images context tool strip menu item dot enabled equals this dot refresh selected images tool strip menu item dot enabled equals and then we have set one selected game state and set multiple selected game states that we need to update here as well. So now that's more complicated than I envisioned. this refresh selected images context tool strip menu item dot enabled equals this dot refresh selected images tool strip menu item dot enabled equals true. And then I should be able to copy that line and put it also in set multiple selected games state. Hopefully that'll work for us. And then all we got to do is actually implement the code. Okay, there's that. And then we need to set the other one pointing to the same thing. The click event needs to go to refresh selected images toolstrip menu item click. Get out of here. Bingo. Okay. Now we can just do the code. This shouldn't be that difficult. But we're going to go, I think, to refresh all and see what I have there. Image cache invalidate all. So we do have some work to do to basically we're going to be adding. I changed this recently to basically just clear out the entire folder, entire cache folder, as it makes more sense. But I mean, I'm going to need some code to go game by game. I think that's easy though, actually. Let's just do this. Internal static void invalidate. Oh, we already have invalidate game right there. Look at that. And this goes through and removes the game from the memory cache, and then goes down and deletes all the disk cache files. Game.get all cache file paths. Just looks for everything with the ID in the name in the cache folder. Bingo. Well, that's easy. So we loop through the games that are selected, and we call this image cache.invalidate game. Easy as pie. Beautiful. Now, where did that method go? Refresh selected images tool strip menu item click. So let's see, get the selected games. Oh man, I don't even remember how I did that. Games control. Search for selected. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. This games control dot selected games should get me all my selected games. Okay, so for each var game in this dot games control dot selected games, we call image cache dot invalidate game. Boom. The only thing is, it is going to take some time potentially. So I might want to do it in another thread, but we'll actually no, because it's only the selected ones. It shouldn't take that long. But I am going to put a try finally with a cursor, a wait cursor on it, at least. Okay, and we'll give that a build, and hopefully it works. That should be all we need, in theory. All right. Let's catch up on the comments here. Cran Hill. It's LaunchBox and not Big Box. I can't change or select anything. It was there to select before the update, and it was working okay. I'm not following Cran Hill. I'm sorry. I don't know what you're referring to. Loads for a split second and then goes away. Hey, Rincewind. Oh, OPAC. Yeah, I'm sorry I haven't gotten back to you on those on that translation stuff. Yeah, man, you got that translation done so quick. That's incredible. I'm sorry, it slipped my mind. I saw the email come in and I was like, wow, oops, I don't want to build a beta. Build, stop. Yes. I have an automatic deploy process that does all kinds of awesome stuff and puts out beta releases because I have this on release and publish. I need to put this back to debug before I build here. So OPAC, I did. That's awesome. Hopefully I can get those files in a beta here soon. I haven't checked back up on the translation thread, but man, I can't believe how fast you did that. That's incredible. So thank you. That's incredible, man. There's no way I could have done that. That's amazing. All right. Cran Hill, let's see. Background clear images, logos. Yeah, but I still don't follow Cran Hill. I'll show you where it's at in just a second here. Ali Essa, Brad, could it be possible to see the option Ali? I keep calling your name for some reason. I keep misreading your name every time I see it, Ali. Brad, could it be possible to see the option for separating ROMs by region someday? Also, a system like TurboGrafx that had the turbo chip. Yeah, that's definitely planned, Ali. We definitely want proper region separation, and part of the plan is to get CRC checks in the database for the various ROMs and all that stuff, and that's a major process, but that's planned, that's coming, and we're going to do region separation with all that as well. So we already have the region field, but it's not populated on imports, so we'll start putting that data in there soon. Okay, so we're built. I'm going to start up LaunchBox. And say we want to refresh these 4 images. Well, I think I know what's going on. We've had other issues with games not refreshing. So I think my method to refresh the images must be broken. So I'll have to get back to that. But I want to show Cran Hill what I'm talking about here. Under Options, Tools, Options, Cran Hill, you have images and then all these priorities. Background priorities defaults to just the fan art. Okay? If you want the clear logos, you got to go in and select clear logo. And once you do that, the clear logos should show up as backgrounds if there's no fan art. If you want them to be priority, then you're going to press up and get it on top. That should solve the clear logo issue. Then the ScumVM thing should be as simple as checking this box to use ScumVM, putting in your game folder path, and selecting what game it is, and pressing OK, and that should just make it work. We should be good to go with that. So if that's not working, I'm not sure what's going on. Who is talking to me about ScumVM? Yeah, Doughboy. Okay, cool. So that's that. Now we got to fix that method. I think that you know how on add edit, if I go in and edit a game and change the images in here and then press OK, This isn't, the image never updates for some reason. I see, Doughboy. Yeah, that makes sense. I get it. So, we need to fix that method. For some reason, that's broken, from what I can tell. The image cache invalidate method is not working. So let's put a breakpoint on this and debug it, see what's going on. Well, it didn't get called there. Probably because the images didn't change. Oh, I didn't attach to the process because I'm stupid. Debug. Attach to process. LaunchBox. Oh, Cranhill, I see. I getcha. So yeah, you know what I should do to fix that? I should just add it back in as the default. I get what you're saying. Yeah, that's not an option for non-premium users. I get it. So just need to change the default settings is all. So I can do that quick. We can do that, no problem. After we get done with this. So if I go in, okay, we're connected. I'm going to say refresh selected images. Didn't have the key in there apparently. Game.getAll. Well, we're deleting some files. 3D boxes for that ID. There's only one. Okay, but that was correct. Then what? Unless it's just refreshing it too quick or something. Let's actually try and make a change. I need to turn off autoplay. It's getting annoying. Okay. So if we go download images media, I think I'm missing the Emu Movies media for this particular game. Sure, Cranhill. So if we, oh, it doesn't, Emu Movies doesn't have it, apparently, as a 3D box. That's interesting. It doesn't have any box art for this game. It's strange. Alright, well then let's just go through and delete, for example, the box front. And it doesn't seem to update it, and I'm not sure why. It's weird. I think maybe, oh, I know what's going on. I think the memory cache isn't being, yeah, because I changed the keys for the memory cache. Interesting. So what am I going to do about that? So the disk cache is being updated, but the memory cache is not. That's the problem here. I get it. I mean, the thing is, we could loop through every item in the memory cache. I'm afraid that's what we're going to have to do. Let's try that and see how performant it is here first. For each string key in image cache dot image cache list dot keys, if key dot contains game.id, then, oh, but then we're removing in the middle of a for each, so that's not going to work. Pain in the butt. Let's see. I think I can use link though. Image cache dot image cache list dot remove. Maybe I can't use link. I don't have link referenced. OPAC, this is new. This came out in the last beta, the option for 3D boxes and everything else. Doughboy, it's really just the Scum VM tab on the game. So uncheck emulation, uncheck everything else, or start with a new game. Just start over with a new game, and then go to the Scum VM tab, and everything is under there, and it should be straightforward. Is there a way, Isolac, is there a way to mark entries where the ROM files there are missing because they use an external drive for the big disk media, and sometimes I accidentally launch those games when the drive is connected? Unfortunately, I don't have a way to do that yet, Isolac. I know that's come up before. I'm not sure there's a ticket for that, though, so we should add one if there isn't. But, yeah, that has been asked before. Sure, Doughboy. Yeah, they're downloaded. Most of them are downloaded from Emu Movies. If you don't even need an Emu Movies premium account, you just need a regular account. And then I'll show you that in a second. You can just go to image type and quickly switch between all the different box types. So we can go to boxes. It might actually be, yeah, there it goes. And 3D boxes. That's another issue I need to resolve. It doesn't refresh the control. Carts, 3D carts, and screenshots. So that's really cool. I like that too. All right. So I was trying to use link to do this. This shouldn't be that difficult. Here's a link. Aggregate all any contains count. Come on. Link, remove. Move elements from a list. That's what I need. Oh. Remove all. Why didn't I see that? Well, that's not even working. I'm guessing this is not a standard list. Bah. Fine. Let's see. Var items to remove. Stupid thing. Equals image cache dot image cache list dot where key. Wait a minute. Image cache list dot keys, where key dot contains game dot id. Okay, that gets me all my items. It's an enumerable of all the items that need removed, and then I can just simply loop through for each var item to remove in items to remove, image cache dot image cache list dot remove item to remove. And this is just a string. Actually, this is a key. I should rename these so it's less confusing. So I could type, there we go. Key to remove, not keys to remove. Okay. And then we go through and no, we don't need that. Okay. That should do it. That's not going to be as performant, so we'll have to watch the performance of that. But that will hopefully solve our problem. Let's build it. Oh, we're running, so the build isn't going to work. There we go. The new ease of switching them, you don't really have to choose, at least not in any permanent sense. Yeah, it's nice. Okay. Now, let's give it a run. Hopefully it works. Refresh selected images. Enumeration operation may not execute. Key to remove, keys to remove. Why was the collection modified? Enumeration may not execute. Is it because I've got this lock? Probably. Odd. I'm confused here. I'm not having any luck today, guys. This is crazy. Should be simple. Okay. Yeah, it errored. Now this is coming in. It's right there, obviously. Great. I think it's because of the threading operations, maybe. Heck. I mean, I could just invalidate them all from in the memory cache only, but that sucks. Gall. Doughboy, yeah. The rocket launcher plugin, I need to get back with Bleasby on that. Um, Actually, at one point they were waiting on me for something. Um, but I haven't heard a response back from them on my latest response, so I need to get back to Bleasby. Yeah, that was before I took my vacation, and I haven't heard back from them since. So I'll need to follow up with them. Come on, what's going on? How do I remove the items? This isn't that difficult. I'm wondering like if this is even going to work as far as I don't really know what's going on with this. It doesn't make sense. For each var or string key in image cache No, that's not going to work. Can I just... I ought to be able to remove one. Can I just remove one? This is crazy. Actually, we're gonna walk through some stuff. Oops. Do the whole breakpoint thing again. Uh-oh. Apparently I need to rebuild it. That's interesting, DOS. Uh, Random image types at each launch. That's kind of cool. It's a good idea. Not right now. There's no way to do that currently. Cool, David. Yeah. Well, oh, for PSP, sure. Yeah, I've noticed there's a lot of awesome collections of images out there that are only available as a zip download. So it's a good thing that it's easy to use in LaunchBox. Easy to just drop that stuff directly into the LaunchBox folders. Originally, when we built everything, it wasn't that easy to do. All right. Well, we finally built. This is starting to drive me nuts. Attached to the process. Now, instead of walking through it, we're going to try and run some custom code here. Let's see. Image cache dot image cache list dot keys 0. Yeah, and it's not even going to let me do it. Dumb thing. Are you serious? Oh, fine. We'll get a key this way. Keys to remove 0. Golly. Keys to remove to list 0. Finally. So this is what the items look like. So I guess what I could do is, go through and do a more specific refresh. But the issue seems to come into place when I say image cache dot image cache list dot remove this guy. Didn't give me an issue. But why does it give me an issue when I do the for each? You gotta be kidding. Maybe it's just how Link is built. Link is doing some stupid stuff. Seriously, do I have to... Goodness sakes. That's just dumb. Sorry, guys. You're listening to me doing a lot of whining today, aren't you? Alright. Well, let's make this even less performant. Var keys to remove equals new list of string. We're going to do this all manually since nothing else seems to be working. Now, for each string key in image cache dot image cache list dot keys if key dot contains game dot id keys to remove dot add key. Just a manual loop through the list. Simple. Now, for each string key to remove in keys to remove image cache dot image cache, this is the same code. If that doesn't work, I'm going insane. But I probably am. I didn't know that Link had issues with removing elements in the way that it does its logic there. That's weird. Ha ha ha! We did it! 3 hours later, our images actually refresh. Woohoo! Oops, that was the wrong thing. Refresh. And F5. Bingo! It's a miracle! And then let's check to make sure edit is fixed as well. I'm going to download the front image that I'm missing. So we should have the front added. Yep, and it should refresh. Awesome. Finally. It's done. It's fixed. Okay. Leave that alone. And let's go back to our to-do. I fixed this, and then I fixed this as well. So first two items on our list are gone. Let's go back to Cran Hill. We want to make the default different for the background image priorities. So let's go do that. We're going to go into Data Manager and go to Initialize Defaults. And we're going to go down to oh, we have this Initialize Image Priority Defaults that we're using. So the background image type priorities right now is just fan art. We just need to add there we go. So now in the new beta Cran Hill, it should automatically use the new clear logos for you. That should do it. I don't think we need to test that. That's simple. All right. Beautiful. Let's catch up on the comments. Cody. Yes. And it is a wonderful world. Thanks, Stephalis. I appreciate that. You probably said it better than I could. Okay. Yeah, I use Plex as well. For media in my house, what I end up using is I use Plex on a server, and it does have to be a fairly beefy server, especially if you're streaming HD. But I use Plex on a server, and then I stream it to Roku's basically throughout the house, because it makes it easy to be able to. It's just you got a nice remote TV remote setup with the Roku, and it's simple. It's simple enough for the family to use.
I've run into so many. I mean, I've tried everything over the years. I had a Raspberry Pi XBMC set up for a long time. Um, that article is probably actually still up on my blog from ages ago. And I did a bunch of different stuff over the years, but uh, the latest thing that seems to be the easiest and easiest for the family to use because I've got kids as young as 4 that need to be able to use this stuff. So we do Roku setups with a Plex backend, and that works really pretty well. Yeah, it's and really all we're using it for. Well, we use it for Netflix and stuff too, of course, but the Roku's um, just provide an easy interface for the Plex and Netflix and stuff like that. It's a pretty dumb little device. It's not my favorite device in the world. It has its quirks, it has its issues. If it was just me and not my family using it, I wouldn't use a Roku. But it's easiest for the family to just use a Roku. Yeah, I've heard good things about the Fire TV as well. All right, so back to work. Imports are missing some EMI Movies media for some reason. They show up manually just fine. That's a bug thing. That's going to be difficult to fix. I have a feeling it's going to be a lot of waiting. So I kind of want to put that off to the end. The big box needs the ability to switch the image group. That's going to be kind of fun because we're going to add a keyboard combination and we're going to add um, uh, options and stuff to be able to switch the image group on the fly. So you press a key and you can switch to 3D boxes or carts or all that stuff in Big Box, which is something we definitely need. Um, add edit image types are cut off is in the add edit form, so I kind of want to do that as well. But I think I'm going to do this one next. We're going to do the Big Box thing. So just so everybody knows what we're doing, I'll go ahead and open up LaunchBox. Yeah, having Kodi on a network share works, but it doesn't work near as well as using Plex. And the reason for that is because it's difficult to stream full HD high bitrate media over a wireless network in particular. You can do it over a wired network and it usually works fine. Doing it over a wireless network is a pretty much a joke. You can't stream 1080p HD video effectively all the time over a wireless network unless it's perfect and you've got it. It's messy. But the nice thing about Plex is um, it will detect the best that it can do and stream it. Um, it is very CPU intensive is the only thing. So you need a server that has a good CPU that can basically re-encode the video on the fly. Yeah, if you got a wired network, it's probably going to work for you pretty well. That makes sense. Unfortunately, I don't. I wish I had a wired network, but I can't run wires through this house really. Yeah, it's the transcoding basically. So, anyways, obviously up here in LaunchBox we have the ability. Oh, I better fix that because I forgot. We got to refresh these because see what happens right now is you go to select. Sometimes it doesn't always happen. You go to select these one of these items and it doesn't automatically update until you mouse over it, which is kind of annoying and confusing. So let's fix that. It should be fairly easy to do. Um, let's go into main form. Yeah, you would do that to me, you jerk. Okay, forms. Am I gonna have to restart Visual Studio? There we go. And then if we go into drop down item clicked, this is where we change up our image group. And then all I'm going to do is say this dot games control dot refresh. I think is all we got to do, and that should hopefully solve that problem. Is this the only spot where we do this? Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man. If I built a house, you bet I would make sure everything was wired all over the place. No kidding. Not only with today's technology, but the technology for 20 years in the future, if I can, because that's always the hugest pain in the butt. Wife wasn't happy. All right, so now hopefully, yeah, instantaneous. Great. That is solved. Boom. So big box it is. So basically the point here, what we're going to be doing next, big box uh, will already obey your options for the image priorities. So it will already do this stuff, but it always defaults to box front for the boxes. It won't ever let you choose these other types. So if you want to display 3D boxes, there's no setting for that right now. So that's what we're going to add. And then we're also going to add a shortcut key to quickly switch between all these 5 different types in Big Box. The other thing that just came up that I know I need to do yet, can't remember who asked for it. I think it might have been DOS76 actually. Sorry, DOS, if it's not, but somebody asked for the ability to add clear logos to this list. So that's another thing we should probably do today in the session. I'm going to add that to my list so I don't forget. Add clear logos to image groups. Okay. Big box. Let's get into, first things first, we need a setting for it. So we'll go into big box settings. And actually, this should go, where should we put this in general? Probably game images. Data table export. Public string game image type get set. Bingo. And then in our big box options, pages, there it is. We need another list here that has all the various options. Private static dictionary. Oh, no, we can use get list, can't we? But we need a dictionary of string either way. So static dictionary of string um, image game image types get let's see, var, I wonder if there's a good way to do this. Var items equals new, no, equals image groups dot get list. But that's a list and I need a dictionary. So unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to just loop. What's the issue, Eva? Huh? No, I'm sorry. I'm still live streaming, Eva. Okay, var items equals new dictionary of string for each string item in list items.add item for both the key and the, yeah, link is going to help me out here, it looks like. Return items. So we will hopefully simplify this a little at least. Well, that's cool. Bingo. Thank you, ReSharper, for making that obvious. That's beautiful. We can even simplify this. Awesome. And that right there is why I use ReSharper. That's beautiful. Okay. So there's our list for the settings, and then under game images, we're going to add a new option in here. Options list item strings.label game image type. Okay, we're going to have to add that to the strings. Game image type equals item.value. Item.value equals s.game image type. Then options pages dot, what did I call it? Game image types. There. Okay. Got to add that setting. But in theory, that should do the translation there. The string label game image type. Bingo. So we now have our option in the settings for Big Box. Um, let's check up on the comments here. Hey, Grandpa. We are working on basically switching up the image types in Big Box right now. You'll see what I'm talking about here soon. Okay, David says, can Big Box have a feature where it can show box art and cartridges at the same time like in Hyperspin? Or would this be possible to do by creating a custom theme? Yes, it should be possible to do with creating a custom theme. And if not, I can add whatever's missing to make that happen. I think we might still need um, a property that will let you pull up the carts. Uh, you know, but yes, eventually, maybe hopefully for this version we'll be able to do that relatively easily with a custom theme. Um, but yeah, that's certainly part of the plan. Doughboy. Oh, by the way, when I translated, hey OPEC, when I translated, I found many voting terms, but I couldn't find them in LaunchBox. Is this some upcoming feature? Oh no. Basically, that's old, outdated stuff. So I hope I didn't waste your time on that. Those should be gone from the translation packages, but maybe they're not. It shouldn't even have that stuff anymore. There are a number of things that we're not using anymore in LaunchBox. We voted on something a long time ago, and I never changed it for anything new. Although we might use it in the future, but right now it's not being used, and I thought I deleted it from the project. I'm not sure why that was showing up for you, OPEC. The folder you specified for the game's data folder's path does not exist. What does this mean? I'm lost. ScumVM, Doughboy, in the ScumVM tab, there's a folder option in there. Sure. No, this voting isn't a new feature that's coming up soon. It's an old feature that we had a long time ago. All right, back to this. We have our option here. We have our setting. We need to make it actually function, and then we also need the keyboard shortcut key. But let's make sure our option works and saves. So let's build. Load up big box, which I haven't really even opened with this new installation. Yeah, that's always pretty. I've only got one platform. Um, Back up and go into options and then go into game images. Oh, we don't have a default setting defined, so I need to do that here first. Let's go ahead and do that so we can test that first before I even set it. Oops. Okay. So in my data manager, initialize defaults. Oops. Thank you. Okay. Game image type equals image groups dot default is boxes. Okay. There we go. There's our default. Carts, screenshots, 3D boxes, 3D carts. It's interesting that they're not in order, but I guess it doesn't really matter so much. Whatever. Okay. So that's working, and then, well, let's make sure it saves properly. Should be carts now when we get back into it. Yeah, OPAC, I've done that too, I will admit. Unfortunately, I need to add an option to disable that. Confirmation is another out. Yeah, that would be good. Oops. You're right. I agree because this happened to me too. So put a Bitbucket ticket in there for that if you would. That'd be awesome. Um, Options. Carts. Good. So we're in good shape there. Let's go make it 3D. Fine, 3D carts, whatever. Okay. And then um, when we go into our games list, everywhere where we're showing this 1080p box art there, we need to show whatever I'm doing instead. And so we got to find that code in all the views and change it up to be the right code. So hopefully it's not in too many different places because we've got all these themes or all these different views. It's under big box, view models, games view models. It's all, oh, there's also, no, it's all under games view models. Game view models probably applies too. There's going to be a lot here. Let's start with the base class. And wherever we set, well, I'm going to check real quick. If we go down to views and take a look at text games view. Shut up. Give me a break. All right, here we go. Restart Visual Studio. I'm getting tired of that. Thank you, OPAC. And then LaunchBox doesn't even show up in the list. Thank you very much. Okay. Views. Text. Games. View. Thank you, Isolac. That makes sense. Okay. So the image that shows up. Oh yeah, we're doing image view. Image transition selector, image view. So let's take a look at image view here. And we use image path. So the image path property is what we're setting. So we need to take a look at everywhere where image path is set in these particular items. Well, that looks like that makes it easy. Start here. Okay, and this is not correct, this stuff here. Anyways. Update image. Okay, we have our game. So the way this is going to work is if program.datamanager.settings, we have this code elsewhere. Big box settings dot game image type equals image groups dot boxes. Gonna have a big thing here. Image groups dot boxes, image groups dot boxes 3D, carts, carts 3D, screenshots. What are you doing? Visual Studio. There we go. So then we have the thing with show back. For boxes and carts, it supports back and front, so we need separate things in there for that. So if game.showback, then the image path, oh, we need this moved up. Image path equals game.get actual random back image. Else image path equals game.get actual random front image. And then boxes 3D is just going to be simple image path equals game.get actual random 3D image. And then carts supports the show back thing again. I'll go ahead and simplify this. So image path equals game.showBack, then game.get actual random uh, cart back image. Otherwise, game.get actual random cart front image. Okay, and then carts 3D is simple again. Image path equals game.get actual random cart 3D image. And then screenshots, image path equals game.get actual random screenshot image. There. And then we can go ahead and get rid of all this code. We don't need it. And this is now the code we're going to use everywhere we populate that image path. So we're going to go back, if it'll let me. Oops. So here's our image path property on the base. We just did that one. We've got this to update. This is in GamesViewModel base. Going to be changing this up as well to be that same code. Why is that? Oh, yeah, I don't care about hiding the field. And what else we got? Just one more, it looks like, in the wheel GamesViewModel. Update image. Yeah, it's hard coded to get actual random front image right now. We're going to change this up to be that. Boom. So that should handle all the various games view models. And then under game view models, for like box game view model, we need to do it. Game view model base, there's nothing in there for game view model base hardly. Text game view model, we don't care. Thumbnail game view model, we do care. So box and thumbnail, we need to work on here. Box. The image. This has to change. We're using a whole bunch of custom image caching stuff here, though. Let's see. Cache file path. This box game view model is that crappy caching system that I still haven't fixed with the view that I took out and then people wanted back. So I might come back to that. The thumbnail game view model is important though, and this should be simple. Maybe not. So cache file path. This caching, that's the trick. Is this caching is going to be affected, because otherwise it's not going to update when you change it. So I'm going to have to tie into the caching system. Darn it. That's going to be tricky. I didn't think about that. Well, let's see. For now we can just force, you're going to have to just force refresh it, I think. App.create thumbnail. You give it the game. Yeah, here it is. This is the code we need to change. There it is. And hopefully that should affect the box game view model as well, because it's calling create thumbnail there too. Okay, in theory, you might have to force a refresh, but it should work. We don't have a hotkey yet either. So, yeah, yep, we got the 3D card on top for ones that have it. That's good. Not everything has a 3D card apparently. That looks kind of dumb. I want to see what it looks like with regular carts. That's better. That looks pretty cool. I like that. Neat. If you change the view, which I haven't configured the keyboard shortcuts in this installation yet. So let's go into options and then go into keyboard mappings. Switch view. Let's set that to V. Okay. Yep. Oh, that's neat. I like that. That's cool. That's really awesome. Wonder what it looks like in 3D. That's really pretty cool. I like that. And soon we're going to have a toggle where you can switch between them on the fly. So that'll be neat too. Okay, and then of course we have this stuff going on. Yep. Awesome. Let's change it up. Well, actually, yeah, I want to check one more thing. Go into game images, game image type. Let's do 3D carts. And I want to see. There's a bunch of stuff I want to see. It's fun. Nice. It is. It is updating them right away, which is great. So it's working better than I thought it would. Oops. My keys are different than I'm used to. Oh, but these aren't updating for some reason. So we do have some image refresh issues. You notice that some of them are updating and others aren't. Cool. Let's first off, we got to add a keyboard shortcut for switching between the different image types. So let's figure that one out. That's the next big thing we got to do. And then we got some caching issues to resolve. um, so in options, we're going to need... No, we have everything we need in options. Oh yeah, we need an option for the keyboard shortcut. We need the setting for that as well. So let's start there. Let's go into um, data, big box settings, and then under keyboard, we need another option for data table export, public int, keyboard, switch image type, get set. Then of course we need the options page item under keyboard. Mappings. I don't feel like typing all that. Just copy it, paste it. New options keyboard mapping item, label, switch, image type. S.keyboard switch image type. Okay, now we need a new label for that. Okay, that's done. Hey, Vissy, welcome. Okay, so we have our setting added. We should be able to change the setting without any issues. Now we just have to actually make Big Box behave when we change the setting. So let's go into the main view model here and go into our keyboard. Oh, you know what? We need a button for that too. We added the keyboard mapping item. We didn't add the button, the controller button. We'll have some people upset if we don't add the controller button, obviously. So data table export public int controller switch image type. Get set. Okay. And then back in our options pages, got to go down to controller buttons and add another one here. Options pages dot controller buttons dot menu items dot add new options controller button item strings dot label switch image type item s dot controller switch image type. Oh, whatever, it doesn't matter. Equals item dot value item item dot value. Whoops, I see what I did. There it is. So now we have an option for the controller buttons as well. Excuse me. And then in the main view model, which is right here, where we handle our keyboard parsing and our controller parsing. Controller timer elapsed. So we're handling the joystick buttons here. Here we go. Else if button equals program.datamanager.bigboxsettings.controller switch image type this.on switch image type. Now that doesn't exist. We're going to have to create that. But before we do that, I want to go down and figure out where we're doing the keyboard handle key down. Here it is. So else if key value equals program.datamanager.bigboxsettings.keyboard switch image type if e.is repeat return. We don't want repeat key presses. This.on switch image type. Now we just need to define that on switch image type. Public void on switch image type. Spiffycovers.com. Cool. Only problem is you can only download so many images until it limits you because they have a premium account and the free account is limited. That figures. They are? Are they seriously? Oh my goodness. You know, that's so stupid. And no, of course, they're all freely available for download in the Hyperspin forums. Arcade Punks offers high quality videos for many games if someone has no EMU Movies account. That's good to know. Yeah, this everybody's ripping off each other in this. I don't know. It's really stupid. It's frustrating. That's one thing I don't know. Never mind. I'm going to shut my mouth before I say something stupid and get in trouble. All right, on switch image type. So down here on switching the view, we are using the active view model and checking to see if it's a games view model base. And that's really all we need to know. We only this is only going to work at least at first with the games view model bases. So we're going to do this ultimately. And I do a delay here, or make sure that it's not we don't do it twice. But hopefully I don't need to worry about that for this one. Games view model is this active view model as games view model base. If games view model is not equal to null and this dot switching and not this dot switching games views, let's get rid of that. Get rid of this. Oh, we have custom code in here for switching the games views. But I'm not going to do that here. What we're going to do is right now on switch games view, go to definition. We basically do a big search. Wow, that's pretty complicated actually. That's okay. So if program.datamanager.bigboxsettings um, image type game image type equals image groups dot boxes. So we need this big old thing again here. Boxes 3D, carts 3D, and screenshots. OPEC, good luck. I don't make any promises. All right, so boxes, we're going to go to boxes 3D. Program.datamanager.bigboxsettings.gameImageType equals image groups dot. I'm going to copy this line because that's what we're going to need on all of them. Boxes 3D. And boxes 3D goes to carts. And carts goes to carts 3D. And carts 3D goes to screenshots. And screenshots goes back to boxes. There we are. All right. Doughboy, when I add a folder to the game data folder path for scum, do I point it to where the game is or somewhere different? It should be where the game is. Um, the games data. I wonder, do we have a scum VM tutorial? I'm not sure if we do yet. We might need one yet. Tutorial video from Brad on scum VM. I'm not sure if we've got one. Yeah, I don't know. What game are you trying to get running, Doughboy? I don't know what error you're getting either. Okay, so we switch up the we switch up. Yeah, apparently we need to do one, Doughboy. I'll talk to him. Anyways, we switch up the setting, and then we're going to need to do something on the games view model base to tell it to refresh those images, and we should be good. That should be it in theory. So games view model dot refresh game. I don't even know what that does. Should take a look at that. Yeah, I don't think that's going to necessarily do it for us. It might, though. What the heck? Why not? It should, in theory. We'll see what happens. Cool, cool. Okay, so now in Big Box, EA, yes, the LaunchBox games database allows you to upload your 3D game boxes, but keep in mind the sync right now doesn't upload anything to the games database. It only populates your personal collection. So right now, there's a lot of I have a lot of work to do yet to be able to allow submissions from LaunchBox itself. That's planned, but it's not there quite yet. All right, so here we go. So we're in our full screen cover full. Actually, before we got to set the key before we do anything else, and I should check the controller as well. Got my trusty 360 controller. I'm going to go into options, and under keyboard mappings, we have switch image type, which is set to none right now. We're going to set that to, I don't know, Q. It's fine for now. And then under controller buttons, switch image type, I'm going to set to, oh, apparently I don't have my controller configured. That makes sense. No, that's interesting. I got a glitch there apparently. Huh. Alright, so controller automation. No, we don't want controller automation. I want controller enable game controllers device. Yeah, that's good. Okay, now controller buttons. Switch image type. Button 7. There we go. Then we go back out and Q. Yeah, that's not working there. If I go in, what did I change it? V was to switch the view. Yeah, the refresh game is doing it for that, but not for the other ones. So I got some work to do there. Let's check that out. PlayStation is better. Yeah, but N64, I'd say PlayStation is better than N64. I would agree with that. Although I hate Sony. Sony's a scum. All right. Okay. So this refresh game is not working. Um, I think I know why. It's probably a caching thing for one thing. And we have those caching issues. So Sony, I've said before, I've been butthurt about Sony ever since Blu-ray took off. Sony's about making money, and I don't blame them for that. But I mean, because obviously, I'm out to make a salary too. But I was butthurt about the whole HD DVD. I really liked HD DVDs. I thought the features were better. I thought everything was better about HD DVDs. It was more open and everything, and uh, the Blu-ray format took off just because they put out the PS3, I think, um, which made me angry at the time. And Sony just don't like the proprietary mindset that they've shown over the years, basically. Womp womp. Yep. But at the same time, I'm glad they're around. They put out good products. I own some Sony products, including PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2. I don't have a PS3, PS4. The other thing is I'm an Xbox fan, so, you know, Xbox versus PlayStation, I'll choose Xbox every time. It is. I also think the Xbox One is pretty great. Um, Now, I mean, it's getting better. I'm not seeing the stability issues that I saw when it first came out. And of course, I'm excited about the Xbox One S. I want one of those, but I'm probably not going to get one for a long time. Sure. Yep. I'll be talking to Brad about Scum VM. I think he was waiting for me to revamp some things with Scum VM because there's some stuff that I could do to add a bunch more options. Because right now, Scum VM provides a lot more options than I allow configuring, and most people don't need the configuration options. But I think that's why I was holding off. But I don't think we really need to hold off because it works great. Okay. Yeah, Grandpa. I've looked into the S, but I haven't looked into Scorpio much, which I really need to take a look at. Yeah, the 360 is one of my favorite consoles of all time. I love that console. There are so many awesome games for that console. It's ridiculous. It's the best console. I mean, it really is, and I still play it. I've got a huge library of 360 games. I've got you probably can't see it, but I got two whole shelves. I don't even know how many games I've got. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. I've got over 100 360 games. Yeah. 360 emulator. 360. I don't know. I'll pick. Okay, guys. I gotta say it. I will pick playing a game on a real emulator over playing or on a real console over playing it with an emulator any day. I tell you that. So you guys who are all like throwing away your consoles, throwing away your games and all that stuff, and saying I'm gonna do this all with an emulator. Uh, you guys are nuts. I mean, I love what we got going here. I tell you what, for older stuff like NES and SNES and N64 and all that stuff, obviously it makes perfect sense. It really does. But trying to and even Wii works really well usually, except for the control systems and all that kind of stuff. But man, I don't want to try and emulate 360 or any of that stuff. That's crazy. It's just like I mean, it's so cheap to get a 360, and the games are even cheap right now. So I don't understand the appeal. Plus, it's all like broken. I'm glad they're doing it because in the future, 10 years down the road, it's going to be important to have. But I don't jump on immediately on emulating modern game platforms just because it's kind of it's going to be glitchy for a long time. Yeah, my gaming setup over here. You're right. Nobody's got space for that. I'm lucky because I've been able to turn this room in my house into an office, and of course my office has a 360, a Wii, an Xbox, original Xbox, an Xbox One, a PlayStation 1, a PlayStation 2. That's all I've got right now in here. And then for all my old Nintendo platforms, lower than Wii, of course. Well, the Wii will play GameCube games, and I do have a number of GameCube games. But for all the other platforms, I emulate them. So the only stuff that I can't really play is PS3 and PS4 right now. Everything else is pretty much covered. So I'm feeling pretty great about that. I can play pretty much anything other than PS3 and PS4 for the moment. Yeah, I'm blessed. I, I I'm pretty I'm pretty lucky. I don't know if I can show you guys my setup over here quick, but there's my setup. I've got all the systems down there and the thing below it, and I've just got a 32-inch TV hooked up there, and that works really well. So that is where I spend all my non-development time in front of the TV. Yeah, that's huge. Being able to play GameCube games on Wii is incredible. The other thing that's interesting here is on this TV, I don't have any. It's a modern TV, a modern Vizio TV, so I don't have any old school inputs. So I have everything going in either via HDMI or via um, yeah, either via HDMI or via component. And the only system out of all these systems that I can't hook up right now is the PS1. Everything else, even PS2 and original Xbox, all hook up via component. So that's really awesome. I have a four-way component switcher box, which wasn't cheap, but it actually works really great. That will let me easily switch between the four different component devices, and then the 360 and the Xbox One are hooked up via HDMI. So I have two HDMI inputs on my TV, which is typical, and I only have one component input, but I use a four-way component splitter so that I can hook up the Xbox and the Wii um, and the PS2 all via component through the four-way component switcher. So that's what I got going on. I haven't tried to tackle. I'm not a genius like the Game Chasers guys, and all the other YouTubers who have systems set up for all the old NES and SNES and all that stuff. The platforms that only support the RCA outputs and that kind of stuff. But I'm pretty proud that I got all that set up because it wasn't easy. I'll tell you that. Anyways, yeah, the arcade cabinet, man. That's I tell you what, that's a priority. I love playing. All the arcade cabinets are perfect for the arcade games, of course, and then all the 2D platforms. They don't do very well for 3D platforms because controls suck for 3D. So like trying to play even N64 doesn't play well on an arcade cabinet. So that's something to keep in mind. But NES, SNES, arcade, all those systems that have the four-way D-pad or were originally played in the arcade. That's what they work. That's what works best. And of course, you run into the issues with like racing games. You build an arcade cabinet, racing games aren't going to work. You got to have a steering wheel and all that stuff set up. So it's more complicated than you'd think, but it's great. Having an arcade cabinet is awesome. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That lazy boy chair is old, but it's nice and comfy. Uh, Game room. I have a fairly large retro collection. I've been collecting since '85. Unfortunately, most of it is in the loft. I only have a few systems down at a time. Emulators are very convenient for me. I do prefer to use the real hardware. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Game room. For me, I mean, I use emulation for everything N64 and below. Um, but I like the real hardware for all the newer stuff. OPAC. I use my PS3 for PS2 and PS1 games. Best way to do it, I guess. Yeah, yeah. Well, and that's why I don't have my PS1 hooked up because I use the PS2 to play PS1 games, especially since I can't even hook up the PS1 because I don't have an input that supports it. So that's the thing. 12 terabytes. Oh, there it is. Stifilus. Hard drive space. I sold out the majority of my collection this year because of the room because of room. I went digital only this generation. Sure. Yeah. I hope I never have to do that, Grandpa, to be honest. But I hope it's working well for you. I have no drive levers left. That's hilarious, Doss. Yeah, my server. I think I have 6 hard drives in there right now on my server. The thing that stores all my videos and that kind of thing. And I think each one of those hard drives is 2 gigabytes. So I've got 12 gigabytes in my server right now. And then, of course, I've got all my various machines. So that's, who knows how much space I've got. It's ridiculous. But the awesome thing is I back it all up to Crash Plan. So I have terabytes and terabytes and terabytes backed up to Crash Plan over the internet. It took me a while, but it happened. Let's see. Doughboy. Yeah, lots of people are running arcade cabinets, LaunchBox in an arcade cabinet, Grandpa. That's pretty common. Big box, especially, of course. LaunchBox doesn't work that well, but what you do is you sync LaunchBox between your PC and your arcade cabinet, and with Dropbox, that's what I do, and it automatically updates. It's great. Well said, Stipulus. Well said. I have a wife. No need for adult content. Ouch. That's awesome, though. All right, David. I have a LaunchBox running on my cabinet. Yeah. Moving over from Hyperspin. Awesome. That's great to hear. Awesome, David. Awesome, Grandpa. Arcade machines were banned in Germany in the 80s. That's why there isn't a big arcade community here. Interesting. That's weird. That's odd to hear. I assume arcades were causing problems over there. Interesting. You mean 2 terabyte? 2 gigabyte. I remember 2 gigabyte hard drives. I had a few 2 gigabyte hard drives. That wasn't that long ago, really. Mediasonic Pro boxes. That's interesting. I don't even know. I haven't had. I've never seen those before. I'm working on a pinball cabinet that will run LaunchBox on the back glass, and I'll split HDMI to my TV. Wow, that's cool. Interesting. I want to see pictures of that, Grandpa. That's awesome. EA, yeah, of course. I've heard of Maximus. I haven't played with it, but I have heard of it. Wow, you guys are crazy. You got awesome setups going on over here. This read R. Milliard's comment about FreeNAS running 16 drives. That's cool. EA says I used to use, is talking about Maximus before Hyperspin, and now I only use LaunchBox because it's simple to set up. That's great to hear. K Money, hey Jason, you know when you'll look at fixing the forced MAME games metadata import process for non-MAME games? It's on my list for this version, K Money. Really though, we need a revamped system there for non-MAME games, so that might be significant. I might get to it for this next official version. I might not. I don't have an official plan for that yet. Um, yeah, I know that's a problem currently. Sorry for that. Hopefully, there's an easy fix for that. I'm not really sure. In Germany, arcades used to be grouped together and with one-armed bandits and other gambling stuff. I see. Okay, and so arcades got the bad rap because they were hooked together with gambling. Interesting. Killed the whole scene. Interesting. Yeah, that's planned, guys, to fix that the arcade imports for non-MAME systems. Sure. All right. The one thing I will say, I'm not sure what state it's in, but what's it called? Lightspeed. There's a forum post about the Lightspeed importer that Antropus works on. So you you might have decent luck. The only issue I see is that I'm not sure if he's updated it yet to work properly with the latest beta. But Antropus's importer, Lightspeed importer on the forums is probably going to work for you. Um, if the current importer isn't working properly with, well, it isn't with the non-MAME systems, you should be able to use Antropus's importer to do the same thing and do it properly. So check on that. I mean, there's a few quirks with it, and if you're using the beta, you may have an issue or two. So make backups before you do it, because I'm not sure if he's updated everything for the latest beta and all the changes I've been making, but it does work well. So. Oh, it doesn't support Sega Model 2 yet. Interesting. That's odd. Well, talk to Antropus about that. Ask him why. Ask him to look into to do it, because that should be fairly common, fairly popular. All right. It's 11:43, so we got like 45 minutes left. It was fun to have that little tangent. What was I doing? So basically, the images weren't refreshing when we were hitting the hotkey. So we need to look into that. I'm going to look into this. So this is in the base. We're basically telling it to refresh the game, and then update image is called. Now update image, we probably should just, I wonder if we should just invalidate the cache for that one image. We really should for the selected game. That might help. What if we do this? Image cache. Actually, that's internal to LaunchBox though. And when you select a particular, yeah, we probably don't want to do that every single time. That's not going to be good. So I need to figure out how to basically force refresh the image cache. I think for now, what I'm going to try, let's see if this works. This is just to identify what the problem might be here. That if I go, um, whatever we're doing to on options pages, we have this refresh all images. These are private though. Game wheel images aren't going to be affected. Platform wheel images, cover flow images, and thumbnail images. Let's try. Obviously, this is not going to be a good solution ultimately, but I just want to see if this fixes it. Yep. Really, that comes down to the speed of all those images and video downloads. I assume you're using Emu Movies, DJ Quad. There's only so much I can't do anything to speed up the. Well, there are some things I could do. I mean, I could try and download more than one thing at a time and all that stuff. But yeah, it takes forever. It really does. Not a whole lot I can do about that because it all comes down to how quickly Emu Movies and the LaunchBox Games database can send you images. So Oh, that's interesting. Why am I getting please wait? That's not working either. Weird. Oops. Let's go. It was V. Now if I press Q, there it is. Yeah, that does do it in this view. I don't know why I'm getting the please wait showing up though. That's kind of weird. Oh, because the refresh images shows that's right. Well, at least it works in this view. Let's switch up to view. It's not working in this one for whatever reason. So this is the wheel view. I think I know why it's not working. Oops. Okay, view. It's not working in this one either. Probably is for new images that haven't shown up yet. Yep. That's cool. So I have to, yeah, we're gonna have to do different things in each one of these views to get everything to refresh. It's gonna be kind of an undertaking. It's more work in this than I thought there would be, to be honest. But and basically we're gonna for each of these different view types, we're gonna need to do something else. What do we got here? Yeah, Emu Movies does seem to have its good days and its bad days, unfortunately. For arcade emulation, MAME is a pain to set up since I'm always having to update my ROMs and setting up controllers is also a big pain. I wish it was a better emulator for arcade games. Well, man, um, yeah, I know what you mean. I think when I set up MAME controls, I had to do it directly in the text files for my arcade cabinet. But uh, I know Brad always recommends RetroArch for MAME, so you might have better luck using MAME inside of RetroArch, actually. So look into that, EA. That might work better for you. Because Brad prefers that method. Actually, watch the MAME tutorials too, because Brad goes over all that stuff as well. The uncomfortable MAME menu brought me to LaunchBox. Awesome. First import the games without images. Yeah, that definitely speeds things up. And then you can go back and do download metadata and images later. The button layout image for controllers would be nice. Sure. The You're talking about a new image type, opaque, I assume. Yeah, as far as MAME, to be completely honest, guys, you're gonna have the best luck by finding an actual complete um, set collection. You don't want to go ROM by ROM for MAME. It's annoying. It's horrible. You want to find an official. There's no such thing as official, but you want to find a complete set of all the MAME data. And I can't tell you where to get it, but you're not going to have any luck unless you find a complete set that's verified, accurate, and all that stuff. Ideally, the latest versions. Everything else is different. I mean, it's super easy to grab a handful of NES ROMs and get them working. It's not so easy for MAME. 4 different MAME versions, really? I haven't had that problem. Yeah, it's big. It's big, OPAC. That's one problem too. Yep. That sucks really bad too. Yeah, a lot of it is really tough for MAME. I wish it was simpler, but I you can't blame MAME for that. You have to remember that MAME is trying to emulate 1,000 different systems all at once. Um, so you know it is what it is. All right. So basically, we're gonna make games view model that refresh game work for all these different views and actually work properly. Um, as right now, well, the thing is, you know what? No, we need a new method because refresh game is not gonna work properly. Because in some cases we need to refresh all the images for all the games. In other cases we only need to refresh the one game. So we're going to have to add a new method, I think is the best way to do this. So I'm going to put a public abstract void refresh game images. And then every single one of these is going to have to excuse me, implement that. And we're going to say refresh game images. We're going to get rid of these two things because that's going to change depending on what view we're in. Um, and then in this games view model, that refresh game images, this is abstract, so we don't want the body. That's right. Now boxes. Let's start with cover flow games view model. Let's start there, and we need to implement override refresh game images. Now, when we do this, we're going to want to refresh the cover flow images. So options pages. I don't know why I put this stuff in options pages. It doesn't really. Well, I did because the rest of the code is in there, but we probably shouldn't. Should move that sometime. And I'm going to put a boolean on this. Show weight equals true. Um, and then if show weight, then we show it. Otherwise, we don't. Now, refresh game images is going to call refresh cover flow images, and then it's going to, we need to force them all to update. How do I do that? We have our flow control. Do I have refresh game in here anywhere? No. Yeah, refresh game. We're not doing anything there. Flow control. Where's our, yeah, let's check the references here. I need an option on the flow control to refresh all the images. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. I know I call something to do it already in the, uh, when the um, in the image caching system. But I do all that up here in controls, cover flow. This is thumbnail manager, and when it's generated, we call replace. Ah, I think this is what I'm doing to refresh it. But for one thing, we want to do that for everything. So I'm not sure that's going to be a good solution. We go to replace here. Basically removing the cover. Ultimately, we want to basically reconstruct this entire control. That's ultimately what we want to do. And I'm not sure how I'm going to do that because we got to basically rebuild this. Clear all the items and start over. Add. Wait a second. Flow control. There's an initialize somewhere. There has to be. Remove, update range, add. Oh, we add them all manually, don't we? From the other, from the, wow, yeah. Bah. So basically, we're going to need to remove all the covers and re-add them, I think. This isn't simple. Let's see where we're at here. I meant OPAC, I meant the little images in big box that show the Xbox controller buttons, for example. Ah, sure. Yeah, that's right. I know what you mean. Yeah, that would be cool. I agree. It'd be neat. We should add that to Bitbucket again if that's I don't think that's on there, so we should probably add that. That makes sense. OPAC. David, you can remove well, as far as removing the files from main complete sets, removing clones, you shouldn't. You can't. It's not smart. You're not gonna. I mean, you're just gonna run into problems because everything talks to each other. They're all required. Sometimes 3 or 4 files, 5 or 6, 10, 20 files are required for a single game. Doughboy Alt Tab. Alt Tab should switch you out of Kodi. Or that too. Game Room says Alt Enter will put Kodi in a window. Yep, that works too. Yeah, for like NES and SNES, there's a lot of really cool tools you can download to um, filter out the ROMs. Excuse me. I'm trying to remember what I've used in the past, but there's some good stuff available for that. Cool, guys. All right. So, getting this stuff to work right in Big Box here. Yeah, David, they certainly do. Especially when you add in the CHDs, I think are what they are. Um, it takes up a ton of space. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend trying to filter out that folder because you're just going to run into problems. Okay. So I'm looking into how to basically reconstruct this entire control. And I'm thinking maybe a better way to do this would be to rebuild the entire view, but then you're going to lose where you're at in the thing, so that's not going to work. You're going to lose where you're at no matter what, though, when I remove everything for the cover flow, but not necessarily in the other views. So we can't really do that. We need to basically remove everything and start over. So if I remove, I think there might be a clear or remove all or something. Is remove cover, public void, clear. This dot cover list for int I equals this dot cover list dot items cover list dot count minus 1. I is greater than or equal to 0. I minus minus. This dot cover list I. If this dot cover list dot contains key I, continue. If not, this dot cover list I dot destroy. This dot cover list dot remove I. Hopefully that'll clear it out, and then maybe I can repopulate them. In theory. Flow control dot clear, and then where do we populate these things? It's on init. It's this right here. So private void populate games. All right. So that's only for the cover flow view, but we'll see how that works. Oh yeah, we need it for all the other ones in the meantime. I think what I'm going to do though is for make this easier on myself. Let's go into Games View Model Base and change this to virtual. And for now, we'll just have it do nothing. Okay. Alright, so we're in our cover flow view. Well, that didn't necessarily work. Oh, maybe it did. So there's our 3D boxes, our carts, our 3D carts. Interesting. I don't know. Oh, screenshots. You know what? It's not necessarily updating the. Yeah, the for some reason the ones that are displayed are not updated. Although it is working other than that. And we got to get rid of the please wait. Excuse me. So how do I solve that issue? Wonder. I think it has to do with this ready for presentation variable there. But we're going to try that, see what happens. I don't know. That probably isn't going to work actually. Clear. There's other stuff we need to clear, I think, is one of the main issues here. The cover list. This cover list that clear, I bet that does it. Oh, what am I doing? We already did that. And also, I can call this.coverlist.clear. You fool. Why am I doing all this? I'm trying to clear everything. A cover list was. There's more than just cover list too. This.add. We have image list, of course. So we clear the cover list and we clear the image list. Let's try that. That might do it. Okay. There we go. I forgot to get rid of the please wait. Oh, I messed that up. I know what I need. I have an idea. Okay. There is this right here. And then also in the cover flow gains view model, this guy, we need to show weight false. Okay. We have our boxes. That's looking a little better. Although, I'm not sure this worked. Huh. 3D boxes? I don't even know what's what. That's part of the problem. Carts. 3D carts. Screenshots. Boxes. 3D boxes. It looks like it's working for the most part. Carts. We stay here though. 3D carts. Screenshots. Boxes. 3D boxes. Carts. 3D carts. Yeah. For the most part, this looks like it's working. That's good. And that's just this one view. But it looks like we got that working. That's good. Now for the other views, let's go to the other one that's going to be similar is the cover flow with details games view model. So we can do something similar here. We don't, our populate games method hasn't been separated out, so we need to go to our init. There it is. That's the other thing I didn't check is I didn't, as we're doing the populate games thing. Oh, but this is, uh-oh. So for platform is different than psi. Okay. Okay, and then down here, let's check to see. Looks like we're doing something different here. Yeah, I see. And then also here. Okay, and then this is going to change as well. So this is what we do for then we need this guy in here. Sheesh. Okay. In theory, that'll do it. We have populate games, populate games. Okay, and then we already, but I think we need to fix some stuff back here because I forgot that there were two different init methods. So we have, yeah, both of these need to be. So here we go again. If this dot filter type equals filter type dot platform, we do that. Otherwise, we do this. And like that, and throw this up here. There we go. In theory, our game details, our cover flow with details thing should work. Let's give that a test. Okay, let's see. Oh, we need to switch the view. Here we go. It's cover flow with details. Oh well, that looks kind of cool. Look at that. The boxes. That's pretty neat. Okay, if we... Yep. Oh, but it doesn't update the selected one either. Oh, wait, why is it... It's a little interesting. Apparently we still have some issues here. Not all the images update. Interesting. So I'll come back to that. But that's working for the most part. Uh, I do need to specify to update the selected game though. So set the selected game. We have selected index changed. Selected index changed. I think it might work if we just call this method. No. Oh, that's not right. That's for the index. That's not okay. So the selected game thing is basically, oh, this is for the one without the details. Um, so populate games. Okay, we already do that here, but in the details one, fresh game images, populate games. We're not setting the selected game here. That's the issue. That figures. Hopefully that'll work. If when we do that, sure, that should do it. And then in the other one as well. Yeah, that figures. Whatever. Okay. Here we go. Rebuild. Yeah, that's the thing with EMI movies, guys. I'm not sure that without EMI movies there would be the set of data that we have. You know, people work for free, they do, but it's got to have someone to maintain it, keep track of it. So without EMU movies, I'm not sure um, anything would have come together, especially with the video clips. The video clips are amazing. They're super high quality, and yes, I know that um, the guys, the people running EMU movies are not the ones that created all the videos, but at the same time, somebody's got to do quality control and all that stuff. That's not simple. And it's a big job. Okay, so if we go this way and then we switch it up, there we go. Okay, and switch up the view, and go back to this one, and switch it up. Yeah, it's working fine. Other than we have some image updating issues, which I need to get back to. So I'll get back to them here soon. It is about time, guys, to end the session. It's been fun. It's been good. Today, I'm going to work on finishing up these changes. We'll go back to my list here real quick. Um, the add edit screen I need to work on. This is what I'm working on right now, switching the image groups. We got the import bugs, um, and then adding clear logos to image groups. These are the main focuses for development. immediate focuses for development. Um, so between that and the forums, that's what I'm focusing on today and probably for the remainder of the week. If I have more time, I'll do some other stuff. But this is my goal for this week. I want to finish up all these items here, these 4 items. Add edit image types, basically clean up the add edit screen, switching the images in Big Box, fixing the imports to get all the missing media, and then adding clear logos to the image groups. Those are my focuses for Big Box and LaunchBox for development for the rest of this week, and then also on the forums. I do expect to spend some significant time yet this week on the forums development because there's quite a bit of work that needs to be done there yet. So that's why we're not going to see that much incredible development here for LaunchBox and Big Box for the rest of this week. But um, I'm excited to get all that stuff out, forums especially. So I will talk to you guys. I'll have my LaunchBox developer sessions video out tomorrow, hopefully, and talk to you guys soon. Are you guys still going on about emu movies? Uh, yeah. I will say that emu movies are we support emu movies, and one thing I frown on is talks about like, oh, you shouldn't be making money and all this stuff. Keep in mind that emu movies uh, they have official agreements in place with the hyperspin community leaders. That's an important thing to note, and they're they're also very careful not to step on anyone's toes. They get permissions for everything they do. So for people to come in and say, "Oh, they shouldn't be doing what they're doing. They're stealing content," it's not really. It doesn't really apply. That's not the truth. In fact, it's just not. It's straight up wrong. Simply because of the agreements that they have in place with the communities and how that all works. And everybody understands that without emu movies, we'd be in trouble. Um, the hyperspin they have the full support of the hyperspin community is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I understand where you're coming from, OPAC. I get it, but based on all the circumstances and how everything works, they're important. It's worthwhile. They're not doing anything wrong. Definitely support everything Emu Movies is doing. Uh, but thanks, guys, and let me catch up on these comments real quick before I end everything here. Ancient Squirrel, good point. If you can put in a bucket ticket for that, that'd be great. Uh, Later, everybody. Thank you so much. It's been a good call, good time, a good session. I mean, thank you, OPEC, and I will talk to you guys. We'll be streaming. We'll be streaming next on Monday morning, this coming Monday. In case anybody's new, at 9:30 a.m. PST, just like today. Um, but I'll see you guys in videos here soon. Thanks, everybody.